say you're driving and you cut someone off by accident and they roll down the window and they give you the middle finger and they yell, "Go back to China." What do you do? I know what a lot of communication videos would tell you to do. Stand up for yourself. Don't put up with their disrespect. Clap back at them even harder. Oh yeah? Well, you too. But does that work for everyone? Of course not. If I teach you how to make a perfect comeback right now, am I going to take responsibility for what happens afterwards? Are you comfortable with taking responsibility? At the end of the day, there are only 3 ways to handle a conflict. You either fight, you take flight, or you ignore. We all know what fight looks like, right? Flight means leaving the situation, like avoiding that person altogether. And ignoring, that's when you acknowledge what they said, but you do what you want to do anyway. There is no one right answer here, but how you react, and more importantly, how you feel after you react, depends on knowing which one of these 3 types of people you are. Let me tell you, growing up as a CBC, I faced some racism against Chinese. Like, this kind of stuff doesn't really happen anymore. But when I was a kid, other kids would pull their eyes at the corner all the time and call me Jing Chong, all that stereotypical Chinese racist stuff. I happened to have this teacher who was also Chinese. Shout out Miss Lim, you were awesome. Apparently, one time Miss Lim was walking her dog, and some kids said something similar to her, but she didn't run. No, she followed these kids home, banged on their door until the parents came, and just put these kids on blast. And I remember her telling me about that. And I was thinking, wow, I wish I could do that. How do I be more like her? So I asked my mom how I could stand up for myself. And just like Ms. Lim. And I remember my mom just cut my face with her hand. And she was like, "John, do you really need the respect of these strangers to feel like you matter? Then why do you even need to stand up for yourself? Next time, just look them in the eye and smile and show them that you have better things to do." That was the answer. Not knowing what to say, but knowing who I am. So the next time, if someone's taking out the road rage on you, and you tend to ignore conflicts that don't matter, just like me, then you'll raise your arm, your hand, the same, and say, "Hey, I hear you. Good day to you too," right? Or maybe you're the fighting type, just like my wife. She might flip them back or stare at them aggressively, and then she walks away satisfied. See, if you want to stand up for yourself, you don't need to know more comebacks. You need to know yourself. The measure of winning a conflict isn't about what you say. It's about whether you feel good about yourself when it's over.